Hi, and welcome to another night of homework. Tonight we'll be going over our DLA review. So, number 1 says about how much more did Maya's mother spend for groceries than Robin. So, since it says how much more right here, we're going to subtract. All right, so $235.47 minus $198.57 gives us $36.89. Notice you do not see any of those as an answer choice. That's because it says about. So we want to pick the answer that's closest to $36.89. Number 3. The question says that the expression 120 minus 12 plus 14 plus 4 represents the guests who have not yet replied. How many more guests need to reply? So there was 120 people. These are the people that have replied. We got to figure out how many people have not replied. So whenever we have to do order of operations, you write down the problem. You put PB, MD, AS. You do one calculation. 12 plus 14 is 26. You put the 26 and then you rewrite all the stuff that you did not use. Do your next calculation. I'm looking for parentheses and brackets. 26 plus 4 gives me 30. I'll put 30 and I'll rewrite what I didn't use. 120 minus 30 gives me 90. So they have 90 people that have not registered yet. For number 5, the question says which of the models represent prime numbers. So prime numbers are numbers that only have two factors, 1 and itself. So if you look at the picture, they kind of gave you a hint in the picture. 7 and 11 they don't have any squares colored. Okay, that's because they can't be broken down by any of the factors. So if we make a factor chart, you'll see that the only factors for 7 are 1 and 7, and the only factors for 11 are 1 and 11. So those two numbers are prime numbers. Okay, so you may or may not have a ruler. So number 7, you need a ruler. It says which figure has an area of 20 square centimeters. So you need to measure each one in centimeters. So centimeters are the small gap. So this one is about 7 centimeters wide and 7 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. So we're trying to calculate area. So you write down the formula for area. Area equals length times width. So this length was 5, this width was 4. So 5 times 4 gives me 20 centimeters. For number 9, it says what is the perimeter in feet? So they gave us a triangle. So in order to find perimeter, I need to add up all the sides. So I do 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 6. I wrote down my formula first. Plug in my sides. 4.5 plus 4.5 is equal to 9. 9 plus 6 gives me 15. We have to make sure that we bubble this in correctly. We should be in front of the decimal because this represents 15 holes. Number 10, it says how many total pounds of nuts did Shaylin add to the trail mix? So she put 2 1/3 pounds of almonds, 4.5 pounds of walnuts. So I'm going to combine those two together. So I have to do a fraction train for 1/3 and 1/2. My common denominator is 6. That gives me 2 and 2/6 and 4 and 3/6 for my equivalent fractions. Add this together, that gives me 6 and 5/6. For number 14, The question asks which statement below best describes her answer. So Sierra evaluated this expression. So in order to see where her mistake was, we need to evaluate the expression ourselves. So we'll write down the expression, draw a line on the side, parentheses and brackets, multiply, divide, then add and subtract. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. First, I should do is in parentheses, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Rewrite everything I did not use. Now I'm going to do multiply because it comes before add. 3 times 7 is 21. So I'll write that and then rewrite what I didn't use. 21 plus 1 gives me 22. So we have to figure out which one of these that she messed up on. So what she did to get 14 is she did 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 1 is 14. So that's what her mistake was. So she did 3 times 3 before performing the operation inside the parentheses. Okay, so for number 15, which is the best estimate for the number of students enrolled at the middle school. So 472, 5 or more, raise the score, rounds off to 500. 389, 4 or 5 or more, raise the score, rounds off to 400. 410, 4 or less, let it rest, rounds out to 400. And then we'll add to find out how many students are in the school. Again, for number 18, you may not have a ruler, so I'll give you the dimensions on here. It says which figure has a perimeter between 200 and 210 millimeters. So the millimeters, if you look at your ruler, the millimeters are in between the centimeters. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So this is 10 millimeters, 20, 30, 40, so forth. So this one measured 100 by 20. This one was 30 by 30, 80 by 20, and 100 by 30. So, because this measured approximately 8 millimeters long, so that'd be 80, and then 2 centimeters, that'd be 20 millimeters. Write down my formula for perimeter. Perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 W's. So I'll plug in my values. 2 times 80 plus 2 times 20. That's 160 plus 40. That's about 200 millimeters. So this one right here is a correct answer. Okay, for number 20, question wants to know about how many words has she typed. So on average, she does 74 words per minute, and she's gonna type for 45 minutes. So we'll just multiply. That gives us 3,330. All right, for number 21, how many full cartons of eggs did Nolan collect? So Nolan collected 184 eggs. He divided the eggs into cartons of 12 each. So that means I have to divide, figure out how many are in the carton. When I divide, I get 15. I have 4 left over, so that's 15 and 4 12. So he can do a total of 15 holes. For number 22, it says, what is the volume of this fish tank? They give me the dimensions of 8, 10, and 16. So I'll write down my formula. Volume is equal to length times width times height. The length was 8, the width was 10, and the height was 16. So I'll multiply these two. That gives me 80. So now I'm left with 80 times 16. That gives me 1,280. Since I have 3 dimensions, it should be inches to the 3rd power. Okay, so here's another problem that you need a ruler for. The question says, what is the total area purchased if the restaurant purchased 3 sections? So we'll measure. So that's about 7.5, that's about 8 centimeters. And then that's about 5 centimeters. So area equals length times width. So area equals 8 times 5. So area is approximately 40 centimeters. I have 2 dimensions, so it's to the 2nd power. They're going to get 3 of them, so that's 120. Please complete the rest of the problems. Thank you.